Welcome back to the Bar Talk podcast. I am Andy of Inebriart, and I am joined once again by Dan Mahoney of Stats.
What up?
Jordan Chabot of Speedwell Tavern.
Sodded.
And the infamous...
Ever good looking.
Infamous?
No.
Legendary?
Oh, sure, I'll go with that.
All right. Not all legends are good.
Folktale. Are we talking about fish?
Infamous.
Oh, yeah. Fish is here, too.
I like
but
Infamous.
yeah. Let's go with Infamous. Karl Heine.
Hello, everybody.
So we were talking about topics and whatnot, but we're going to do Q&A. So we're just going to go right to the questions.
Let's go right to the
Unless
questions.
you guys have
Let's
anything
help
to...
everybody out there in the industry world deal with
We
their
usually
issues.
just accost them.
I was going to say, I don't think we've helped...
for asking us
So
questions.
I always
this,
say I have
Well, no, we
answers.
help people that
They
ask
just aren't to
normal
your
questions.
if anyone...
The people that ask stupid questions, we accost.
If anyone has felt that we've helped you, please write back. We would love a follow-up. Because I don't feel that's necessarily true.
But if they
Or
ask a
means to the
stupid
people
question,
that wrote us nice comments too.
I
Like,
know.
Right.
This lady's like, I listen to your podcast while I'm working. Jordan's like, fuck you, lady, in your grocery store job.
I didn't say... Well,
You did.
kind of did.
No, you accosted the dude that left negative feedback.
No, he
Yeah,
did.
but I-
He did the
I-
negative
I
feedback
actually
and the
gave
fan
him some
mail.
love.
Did he?
Yeah.
I gave him some love, too.
He was
I
nicer
remember that.
I respect
to the
you,
mean guy.
Even though you're wrong, I respect you.
Listen,
You don't respect
we love all our listeners. We're just... we
not
show
all.
our love in weird ways.
I just feel bad for the people that listen to us not from New England, don't understand that our rough tone is meant with love.
They can't
Do you-
understand a word I'm saying anyway.
Do you think that's a New England thing?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We're just friends
Oh, I
shit
thought
on
that
each
was
other?
an industry thing.
I just thought that was like a friend thing where friends
We
shit on
talked
each
to
other.
Jake French, and that dude was nice as hell.
Yeah.
Like, we're assholes.
Yeah, but you think like if
but
like
we
we
know
were
that.
super tight with him, then you'd like bust his balls.
I
and
actually
stuff.
just talked to him yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you bust his balls?
No, he busted mine a little bit at
Alright.
first, but it was more of like, you doing okay? Yeah, you doing okay? Cool, man. We'll get through this.
Yeah, he's a solid dude.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jake, man. Go to
I'm a solid dude. Nobody ever tells me that.
Wow, did you hear a quiet guy?
Alabama.
Yeah, go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
All right, so first question is,
All right, this is from Rose Benak. What do you do when when your servers, plural, cry over a verbally abusive guest? Do they take a break from the shift or question mark?
That's a great question.
well,
Do you is this
they-
a common thing?
yes.
Okay.
I don't want to say common, but it does happen.
Yeah.
One maybe once every
But yeah,
couple months
if
you'll
they
have-
get berated by a guest and they're crying, I
Yeah.
know that I have power over them, and I wait till it's over, and I bring them out back, and I friggin' yell at them and say, "What did you do to that customer to make him cry again?" Because it makes me feel, big.
Man, I wish you were joking.
No, we don't get a lot of crying. No, there's no crying in this industry.
There's no crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball.
I'm pretty sure my staff can yell more and angrily at the customers than the
I feel
customers can yell.
like in town is different. In Boston is different.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you have to. Apparently, in town is a local colloquialism.
in the city.
local colloquialism.
Colloquial.
You can't say someone's name, but you can nail that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I don't know what I would do if a server came up crying and said, "This table's been so mean to me." I would just.
That's never happened.
No, usually they go to the table and say, "My boss is being so mean to me."
They go to the table crying.
Yeah.
And oh my God, what's wrong? My boss is an ass.
But I guess, depending on the situation, and every situation's different, I would just ask them to leave.
Yeah, I
You know,
was
it
gonna
just-
say I looked at it as a softie and a staff favor all the time. I always go to bat for my employees, but sometimes to a fault, and I understand that. But I hire them. I hired them, so I know when they come to me and they're genuinely upset. Unless it's if they're working for me and they're liars and they're over dramatic and stuff like that, then they wouldn't be working for me. If they're genuinely upset about something, then there's a fucking issue. And if they're coming to you, and maybe you have a door guy on or whatever too, but if they're coming to you because they're generally, then you need to get that. It's not worth the money. Get those.
And we're talking
people
about
out.
just, somebody berated. I mean, if somebody
Yeah.
grabs something that they shouldn't, if
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean,
yeah.
that's a whole different.
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
whole different.
Well, that was gonna
right
be-
now. We're just saying a little verbal abuse.
Well, that was going to be my follow-up. Is
Anything to
like,
make 'em cry.
What about like the overly aggressive pass or the constant hitting on or?
The constant hitting on, if it's verbal,
It's such a weird thing
it's
because
it's different from someone coming up and grabbing your waitress's ass.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Both offensive,
yeah.
but one you could go over and say, "Hey guys, you're making her feel uncomfortable," and maybe wait on them yourself.
Yeah.
But if it's anything that's touchy-feely thing, they're gone right away. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's there's no question.
No tolerance.
And
If
it-
somebody is making one of my employees uncomfortable, it should be handled right away.
Yeah, and it's such a. It's one of those lines where we can't sit here and say this is when you've crossed the line, but I can tell you when you did,
Right.
because I know. I mean, I'm friends with tons of people in the industry. I've said some outlandish shit to people that if I said it to Joe Schmo on the street, I'd be right for getting slapped, tased, drink thrown in my face. But it's when you're friends in this kind of industry. My first friends in this industry were from Fridays, and they're like, being sexually harassed was part of the job, and not in like, oh, you have to tolerate it. It was just like,
Accepted.
I don't even know if it was almost like that made you part of the gang, because you, like, everyone kind of like was in on the joke, and it wasn't really harassment because it was all, at least as far as I understood, welcome joking, and that's really the harassment part. Like, if you're in on the joke and you're all about joking in the same manner, it's not technically harassment.
There's in every server, whether they're male or female, does this.
Yeah.
They flirt with tables. Might
Sure.
not be all the tables all the time, but you
Yeah.
flirt with the tables, and it's just the nature of the business.
Yeah.
And that's the personality of the people that, are in the industry. And there'll be some flirtation going on. It's where that flirtation goes.
Right. And that's
it's going to be a problem for somebody.
You can't say this is the line.
No.
But when you cross it, you're like, yeah,
That's
you
correct.
went too far.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I never do anything like that because
He's definitely
conservative.
not rubbing people's bellies.
I was going to say, I'm just glad none of us are
she
pregnant.
let me do it. If they that's not harassment. It's not harassment if they like it.
if they like it.
That's a terrible thing, but it's true.
I don't get any flirtation at Speedwell. It used to be that way.
Well, you're
Sorry,
getting a
buddy,
lot
you're
older.
married,
You're getting a
and-
lot older.
No, not
But
personally.
I said you're looking good today, man.
Yeah, I
you
really
dropped a lot of
appreciate
weight.
that.
You're doing a lot of
Thank
push-ups.
you. It's
Jesus
depressing.
Christ, he's
He's,
such a prima donna.
You just got his haircut and probably did it with a Floby.
No, I mean, like, I'm just picturing, like, specific instances where I've had servers come up to me upset, and it's because a table's trying to flirt or crossing the line, like Karl was saying, maybe not necessarily touchy-feely, but definitely crossing the line in things they're saying. And she's been clear that she's uncomfortable to the table, like, hey, all right, cool, that's funny, but, like, can we not do that? And they continue and they press and they press and they press to the point where she gets upset and feels endangered. Like, that shit sucks, man. Like, you got to get those fucking
Right.
people out of there.
Right.
You got to get them out of
And
there.
it's just, I think there's two groups of people. There's the people that do it to be mean.
Yeah.
And they are harassing, to the true meaning of the word. They're harassing people, whether it's through flirtation and going over that line, but they know that they're harassing people.
Correct.
Yeah.
But there are those people, I might even be one of them, that will take that, quote, flirtation or conversation with the server to a whole new level to see how far it's going to go. But once you see it's gone far enough, I back down.
Right.
But there's some people that when they're drinking, they don't back down because they think it's funny, and they
Right.
think that you think it's funny.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're not doing it because they think they're trying to piss you off or harass you. They're doing it because they really do think that you think it's funny.
Right.
And you don't.
And
so
the other time
a
that-
lot of people with the drinks, that line it's a huge blurred line.
Yep.
And the other time where it's,
And it's never acceptable.
yeah. The other time where it can be tricky is if you're a regular and you go in and there's a new employee. The first place I ever made my home regular place was Lucioso's in Plymouth, and it would always be like they'd get a new waitress or bar staff, and they'd come on and be like, "Hey, what do you need? How do you?" And I'd be like, "Listen, you cannot be nice to me. It makes me feel unwelcome. That's not how this works here." And usually they kind of catch on, but it's that where you're used to joking around with the people that, like Aubrey, good friend of the show, love Aubrey.
Have her back.
We say outlandish shit. She says outlandish shit. Even if someone new overhears it, they'd be like, "What the fuck is going on over here?" So it can be a tricky balancing act, but
I took public shaming to a new way in BBC because it's such a small thing.
Yeah.
I was just like, hey.
well, BBC's the perfect example.
Oh, yeah. It's because I mean, everyone's very comfortable in that place.
It is very
and-
comfortable, very friendly, but
Yep.
in that New England way where we'll shit
In a very
all over
local
you.
place,
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if somebody walks in that just happens to come in for a drink that doesn't know anybody,
Yep.
they're not staying long.
Right.
Yep. And then it's a Tuesday night and Jeff Rosen's playing and he's saying outlandish shit on a microphone.
Yep.
And yeah, I could see people being like, oh, heavens to Betsy, and like leave. You know? Because I mean, I've heard some crazy shit there.
So what do you do? I think if somebody's really upset, you got to stop it where it is.
Absolutely.
Because it got to the point where your employee's upset.
Right.
But you might have a customer say the same thing. Hey, listen, your employee's making me feel uncomfortable because they're going over and maybe over
Oh yeah.
flirtation with somebody who just wants to get a drink and not talk to anybody.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like
you could get it both
New World
ways, but
Tavern.
yeah, it's not acceptable.
No.
But it's hard. It's hard to monitor because everybody likes a little flirtation. Maybe nobody likes a lot of flirtation, but where is that middle flirtation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Yep.
flirting to make money.
Yep.
Yeah.
But essentially, as a
And
server,
I
a bartender.
honestly believe that it's your personality too.
Too.
Yeah.
You know,
you
it's
wanna
not.
make
I'm
them
not
feel
going to flirt with that guy. I'm flirting with because you know what? He's funny. I'm funny. We're both laughing, and I'm going to go
Yep.
get him a drink.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And you hope it ends there.
Right.
Right. Yeah. It's. I mean, I guess to answer the question though, if it gets to the point where we are, I think we're all in agreement.
If
It's like
there's
when you're
tears, you
server-
got to do
if it's-
something.
You got to do
Yeah.
something.
If they're
Yeah,
upset,
yeah.
it already went too far.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Did we answer that? Did we help somebody?
I think we just did, but I don't know if it helped. But
No, it didn't help.
as an owner,
That's-
I would
that's
go
our brand.
tell the table to leave.
This is Ron and Tracy Stuber. When do you not be known as the new owner anymore? When do you just become the owner?
When
you
three
use
other places
correct
open
grammar.
up in the neighborhood after you.
So is that it's the new owner is?
Yep.
in-
It depends on how old your crowd is, because if your crowd has been going there for 20 years and you're the new owner, it's going to take you 15 years to become the regular owner.
Right.
Yep.
True.
Until you get that new clientele in there. So if you're, if there's been owners in there for 5 owners in the last 3 years, it's going to be a year, and you're going to be like, oh, they've had this place for a year, man.
Yep.
Right.
He's the only one that's ever made this place work.
Yep.
But if you're the second owner in 50 years, you got a long time to go.
Yep.
You'll always be known as the new owner.
we were talking about the owner dropping the owner name. Do you guys have like a standard procedure for when someone comes in and be like, oh, I know the owner? Like, do you tell your staff, be like, assume I don't know them, or don't treat them like, what's the rule for?
Well,
Have
it
a-
depends on if you want to have fun.
okay.
You know what I mean? If it's a busy day, you don't want to. You just want people in and out.
Yeah.
But if someone comes in and says, "Oh, I know the owner," I'll tell the bartender, say, "Oh, there's 5 of them. Which one?" And then they'll say, "Oh, and they stutter because
Yeah.
they don't know.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But a lot of people that do come in and say, "I know the owner," they really do.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of
My
well-known.
issue with the whole "I know the owner" thing is, they really do come in, and it's maybe someone that's related to me, a good friend from high school, childhood, who knows. But they'll come in, and then they'll tell stories to the bartender about me because they think that the bartender knows the owner that well. I mean,
Right.
I might know that person that comes in and says, "I know the owner."
Wait, what stories are they
might
telling,
be-
Karl?
It might be
I
my
know,
cousin.
I know,
Like a
right?
close cousin. And they're talking to me, and I'm like, "Yeah, we don't tell my employees all that stuff." You know what I mean? That stays out of the bar room.
We have a rule. We say it. We have 2 staff meetings a year, and I always not open with, but it's one of the earlier things. If anybody comes into Speedwell and says they're a friend of the owner, they're not my friend, because none of my real friends would do that. If they say, "Oh yeah, we know Jordan," no, we're related to Jordan,
Or is
that's
Jordan
different.
here?
Is
Or where's Jordan? Is he
That's
around?
different. That's different. But if they just say the owner,
Yep.
I have 4 partners, none of them are involved to the day-to-day operations. So I don't care about any of the people that come in and say, I know the owner.
Right.
When it matters to them. But if they come in and say, yeah, I'm not Jordan's cousin, then I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. But I know the owner. Who, Josh? You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? That's when it's like, don't treat them any more special. In fact, probably trying to get something for free, so make sure everything is on the bill.
And
Right.
to me,
Give
it's
them
like
some
I feel like
Right.
if
On the
you're
bill.
honestly a friend of the owner, I wouldn't want you to give me any special treatment.
Correct. You're trying to support your friends.
Yeah, I'm trying to support my
Yeah.
friend's business.
And most of them don't
yeah.
like it. You'll come buy them a couple of drinks, maybe even comp their whole meal.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I wanted to come here and support and pay.
Yeah,
But you and I are like, we bought this restaurant so we could do
That's
cool
correct.
stuff like that. You
That's
know what I
correct.
mean? Like, I
Yep.
want to take care of the people that.
I mean, I might not be able to do it every single
wait.
time.
You guys
come
comp
in.
people's meals?
No. No.
Son
No,
of a
just friends.
Oh, wow.
All
All right. So the next question.
So the guy's drinking a free White Claw right now.
So we got 3 different restaurant people here.
It's for a
And
bit, Jordan.
His home place is a different restaurant.
No, no,
from
I
the
no, 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 no,
And
no.
he's looking for a free
No,
meal.
no.
Yeah.
I can have
what I mean?
I can have this court stenographer
I love
play.
Lucioso.
That's not what I said.
that was a great point.
The court stenographer can play it back. I said the first place I considered my home. That's before I knew you guys.
TGI Fridays.
Andy didn't go in the BBC till I
The
left,
second
so-
place when I moved downtown. How about that?
All right, next question.
Assholes.
You walked into that, Andy.
I
I'm
totally
sorry.
did. Jake
Next
French.
job, Karl.
Jake French, you're a great guy. Please come on the show again. So we can have a nice person on the show. Andrea Boychuk, what time do you open and what time do your cooks start coming in to get ready for the day?
Before I do.
Well, you're here, Dan, so obviously.
I'm not working today.
Uh,
What time do the chefs come in to start the day?
Yeah.
All right, we open at noon now. It used to be 11:30. They get there. My head guy, when he's there, he likes to get in 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm the same way. I like to get in around 8. I'm usually kind of doing double duty. And everybody else usually comes in at 9 or 10. We only have 2 people in the kitchen at a time, so. But plenty of time to prep.
Yeah, I think it all depends on the day.
You come in at 6 in the morning and proof dough and
Yeah, I mean,
Drink beers.
I pretty much do everything all the time.
yeah. It's nice to see you working finally.
But to have my kitchen staff come in, if my kitchen manager comes in at 8 o'clock in the morning because they know they have a lot of work to do, or if they come in, let's say we open up at 11 and they come in at 8, or they can come in at 10, as long as they know that what they have to do to prep for the next day, they can kind of manage their schedule to what that is. So I think if you are scheduling the kitchen, it's tough to do because you can have them schedule in for 2 hours earlier and they can sit around for 2 hours and not do anything
Correct.
because there's nothing to do. So you got to kind of feel out the business.
Yeah, I used to have a guy running my kitchen, really hard worker, great guy, but super neurotic. And he used to come in sometimes at like 5 in the morning. I'd wake up and see that the alarm was disarmed on my phone at like 5:10, and I'm like, JD, what the hell are you doing there at 5 in the morning? Oh, I just wanted to make sure all the wings got cut. And da-da-da-da-da.
It's like I ran there today.
We have an entire week to get that done, not to mention 7 other employees. Like, you shouldn't be there at 5 in the morning. He was padding his hours.
Right.
You know, and you got to watch out for that.
Yeah.
So that's I guess the one thing. Is like you want someone to like
Well, then again, too, I have my kitchen manager on salary. So she comes in at
So
11,
she-
she comes in
yeah.
at 5, she comes in at 4. As long as she gets the job done,
that's
then
when the
I'm not worried
hybrid thing.
about it.
I see. I do both.
Yeah.
It backfires because I do hourly plus salary, but if the salary is like a shorter amount, it's like this is for doing the extra, the ordering, all that. But it does backfire because then they can totally pad their hours. They can double dip. They can.
Yeah.
So it's up to you to manage that. That's your job.
Yeah,
That's right.
It is, and
That's the man.
even from supervising people, I don't know how your system counts, but from a corporate standpoint, when I worked retail, if you punched in 7 minutes early, it counted as 15 minutes. If you punched in 7 minutes late or punched out 7 minutes late, it was another 15 minutes. So you could pick up a half an hour with 14 minutes of extra
Now, see, when
time.
I was doing that, I was working for a big company. If you were scheduled, let's say, for 9 o'clock, you can punch in at 8:30. They're not paying you until 9 o'clock
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
because that's your starting time. You
Right.
can punch in 3 hours early, but
you get paid at 8
you get
o'clock.
paid starting at whatever o'clock that was.
I can see that. If it
But
takes
then
you
the
longer
the
to-
overtime, it was, if you
Right.
punch in 15 minutes, we pay you for 15 minutes overtime.
Yeah.
Right.
Or additional time, whatever it is.
So why would anyone show up early?
And the real
If it takes you longer to do
Yeah.
your job, stick around an extra hour.
Yeah.
No, there was a line at the time clock.
No shit.
Because everybody would show up at the same time, and they'd be waiting to punch in, punch, and then you're yelling at the guy, the clock's not working. Hurry up, I gotta punch in
Yeah.
before
Right.
I'm late.
And the last guy in line's late.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
screwed.
yeah, yeah.
It's like Fred Flintstone. You know, everybody's gotta wait for the bird to peck the thing.
And this is the thing: is set up a system, stick to it, hold everybody to it, but be a reasonable person.
Correct.
Correct.
Because it's always gonna change.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when everyone, I mean, we have computers. You can pull up the system, see this guy punched in at 7, this guy punched at 7:01, this guy punched at 7:02, this guy punched at, and the 15th guy in line punches in at 7:17.
You know he was like.
You know he was on time. There was just a line of people all the way down.
Right.
You know?
See, now those people should have been punching in at like 10 minutes before, not 7:01.
But they're not getting paid for that.
And here's the thing.
That's right. They're
So
still
or-
punching in. So they're
or-
punching in, and they're just going over there, and they're.
But it all
they're
depends on
putting
the-
their lunch away, and they're
But
not
it-
working.
but it all
And at
depends on
9
the-
o'clock they can start working.
Right.
But
At
it all
least they're
depends.
punched in.
But it all
But you
depends.
still 10 minutes of your time that you're giving up.
Or
So
That's true.
or like I was just saying, if you punch in 10 minutes early for the system that I supervised for, you got 15 minutes of overtime.
Right.
So me being a supervisor, I would get these, why is there so much overtime on your team? And then I had to be like, if you start at 7, you need to punch in at 7.
Right.
Because you have a team of 30 people punching in 10 minutes early, 5 days a week. It's a lot of overtime.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, have a system, be flexible, be understanding, but have a system and hold people to it.
All right, next question.
I was pulling it up. Shelby Smith. Shelby Smith.
Now you're talking.
I want to open a small diner. I don't even know where to start.
You should not open the
Yep.
diner.
Yeah, work at a diner, I would say. I mean, if you don't even
Eat in a diner first.
I feel like if you don't know where to start, that's a terrible.
I want to go to space. I don't know where to start, so I'm sitting here with you guys.
I
NASA.
think you have to go to Florida.
Yeah, I feel like that's everybody thinks it's going to be cool to open a restaurant.
It is.
Go work at one for a little while,
Yeah.
first and see.
Yeah, for
sure.
If you have and you still don't know where to start, then I don't know what to tell you. But you weren't working there long enough, or you weren't paying close enough attention. I mean, to literally have nowhere to start. Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean, if you want to open a diner because you saw it on a TV show and it looked really cool
Because you want
they,
to be on guys'
Third booth
diners,
to the
drives,
left.
and dives.
I honestly feel like there are so many people who be like, oh, I want to own my own business. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. That's not true.
I love being my own boss.
Yeah, but to certain, you guys are the exception to the rule. I feel
Joe's
like there's a
your
lot
boss.
of people that do it, and then they'll bitch like, "Oh my God, work was so hard today."
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah,
I know
That is us.
I know, but you guys work crazy hours, nights, weekends,
Make it
holidays.
seem that way.
All right, when I say you guys, I'm not talking about Karl. But like, if you work a 9-to-5 job or a 40-hour job and you struggle to work those 40 hours, don't open your own business.
No.
Right.
I do think we have a bad habit of, because these kind of questions have come up a couple times, where we make it seem like the restaurant industry is impossible about anybody but us. And that's not the case.
It's
there
not.
are definitely people who haven't been in the... Carl did not come from a restaurant
Nope.
background. He's got a successful restaurant. You know what he did? He worked hard. Or he got people to work hard for him. And that's really what it comes down to, but your heart's got to be in it. Like, you really got to want to do it. You got to do your own research. You got to, you don't maybe not have to have a restaurant job, but you need to have some passion, I guess
Yeah.
is the word I'm
I
looking
think
for.
you also need to know what you get into because, like every field, it's not for everyone. Like I can't go do a 9-to-5 job. I would be miserable sitting at a desk all day long and stuff like that. Just as some people would be miserable sitting behind a bar or in a kitchen and all that stuff. So
Right. That's right.
you should probably definitely try it out before you do it. You make a huge life-changing decision.
But that, you could say that for open up any company.
That's very.
Absolutely,
that- That's the
I
point.
couldn't
Yeah.
start
yeah.
a .com company because I don't know anything about it.
Right.
Yeah, you don't even know what
Understand,
.com means.
You're going to be making a lot of sacrifices as a business owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and the rewards
And they
are
are.
awesome.
Yep.
Being your own boss,
Yep.
making your own schedule, but sometimes the schedule makes you.
Yeah, and I think that's what people
Well, it takes a lot of work to
miss
get to
out.
that
Is
point,
like
too.
you'd be like, oh, you get to make your own schedule. It'd be like, yeah, but if no one
5
else is
years
scheduled,
from after you open.
then I'm working. you
Yep.
know?
I'll tell you what though, and I don't know if you guys feel the same being managers and owners, like when the schedule makes you, you don't feel less guilty about it than if you were getting called into work working for somebody else. Like you're like, no, this is what I signed up for.
Right.
It
Yep.
might suck, but it's like, this is for my personal direct benefit.
Yeah.
Because it's my business, at least that. So that is a big reward of opening up your own business. So if you want to open up a diner and you don't know where to start doing some research. And
Right.
that where you know
We're not saying don't open the diner.
yeah, we did originally.
But if
Yeah,
you-
we did.
We did.
We
We
did.
absolutely did. I think you said it twice, Karl.
But know what you're getting into before you do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if, like I say, if you saw a diner on TV and you're like, oh, this could be fun, and I could make billions of dollars doing it, that's not the case.
Yeah, go sit down at some diners and eat. You don't necessarily have to get a job at a diner, but that I think we will.
But
talk
that
to
would
Mike
help.
Morway.
That
and
would
really
help.
pay attention to what people are doing.
At
We
least
had
go
Mike-
talk to someone that owns a diner.
Yeah.
Like,
Correct. When we had Mike Morway on, I just listened to that episode again because it kind of got cut off when I was listening to it before. But early on during COVID, we had him on virtually, and he's bounced around a lot and done a lot of consulting. And Andy, you asked me like, what do you do to like expand your horizons? How do you learn what to do next?
Oh my
at
God, it
all
sounds like a
these
super good
restaurants?
question.
It was a great question, and he had a great answer. And it wasn't like I read books and watch the Food Channel and look up recipes and blah, blah. He goes, no, I go out to eat. I go out to eat. So go out to eat some diners and pay attention and see
Yep.
how they're doing things and spend it.
And talk to the managers, talk to the owners.
Yeah, see if they're cool
Yeah.
with it. You know, especially if you're going to the same place maybe once or twice a
Yep.
week, you get friendly with them and you just stop becoming a regular. You might actually get some useful knowledge. You know what I mean?
But I would never turn anybody down that wanted to start their own business. I think it's a great idea. I think it's the American dream. You know, go start your own business, but just be prepared for it. And when they say that, you know, what do they say? 70% of the restaurants are
Fail in, like, the first
fail
year
in
or
the first
something,
year.
yeah.
It really is true.
Yeah.
But if you really like what you're doing and you understand why you're doing what you're doing, and I'm talking book wise, back of the house wise, front of the house wise, you know, just it's a lot more than you think it's going to be going into it. And I think that's for any business.
Right.
Yep.
It's always more than you think it's going to be.
My
You think it's going to be that great,
Yeah,
you know,
flip a switch.
Yeah, flip
Yeah.
a switch, man. I own my own business. This is
Yeah.
great.
there's so many
If
things
there's
you
people
just don't know.
Show up.
That you're gonna sit at the end of the bar and just like, yeah,
It's a lot of
yeah.
hard work. It's a lot of hard work.
My favorite little tidbit of advice, and this kind of goes for every industry, and you know, people be like, "Oh, what do you tell people that want to get into X industry?" Don't, because if me telling you don't stops you, you really didn't want to
And
be
you
in
said
that.
that last time we had
Yeah.
one of those questions, and that's a great answer.
Yeah.
It really
That's
is.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's if what I'm gonna say is gonna convince you not to, you didn't want it.
Right. We did you a favor.
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
Either
be,
way, we did you a
You
favor.
you have to be willing to struggle and suffer through something like COVID.
Correct.
Oh shit, it came up.
I think this question would have
Not to see
been
what Angela
answered
said.
differently if it was phrased differently. If that question was, I'm going to open up a diner. I want to open up a diner. Do you have any advice for me?
Yeah, or
Where it went
what,
from I'm
what,
going to open up a diner.
I
Where
don't.
should I start?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
there's a difference
There's a
between
big
I don't know
difference.
where to start and what should I focus on.
Right. Next question.
All right, Nico Toliano.
Smith.
Jesus.
Who is the most famous person that has eaten at your restaurant? I can answer this for Jordan and Karl. That would be Andy of Inebriart.
40,000
Famous.
downloads.
Wow.
That's right,
Hey.
40,000 downloads yesterday.
He still has them into your place then, huh?
I've not been to Stats. I have not. It's COVID. It's far away. I don't know
I
these
haven't
people.
had anybody really famous at my spot. I mean,
You know, we've had actually a bunch of them. I'm just not under the liberty to say who it was.
Yeah.
He signed a
I had
gag
Lou
order.
Maloney, former shortstop of the Boston Red Sox and now radio host a couple times, but I think he hit everybody down. Yeah, drinks Miller Lights, doesn't like to be talked to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
I've had Drew Bledsoe.
You did not have Drew Bledsoe.
I didn't, but if you listen to this, come on down. I mean, yeah, if you listen to this, come on down. You can see my shrine I made for
You
you.
got some people at Stats, right?
Yeah,
mean, being up
I
at
I was
the
gonna say
Had,
Stats must have gotten some people.
What the fuck's his name? Jack Eichel was there 2 weeks ago
Nice.
and almost got in a fight with a Celtic kid, so it was funny.
Fantastic.
A lot of NHL guys are in town. We had Edelman there a couple of years ago. I think so. Just a bunch of athletes.
You can say had a bunch of hockey players in at one point.
Yeah, we had a bunch of the Boston Bruins in last year
After they lost the
the day
playoff.
after they lost the Stanley Cup.
Oof.
And my bartender definitely talked shit to them, not knowing who they were. So, yeah, about them.
How badly they played.
Yeah.
really?
Oh, wow, the Bruins really suck tonight, huh? And like,
Yeah,
she's
that's-
talking to the Boston Bruins.
Yeah,
That's always a good thing.
There goes your tip.
they still come in. They're still there. So
Wow, that's a good one. I feel like sports, especially if you're in the town, the sports team is pretty common.
It's hockey guys. I think
Yeah.
go out more into the pub. I think like the NBA guys don't.
Well, they're always traveling. I mean,
They're-
baseball. I mean,
Baseball,
they're
yeah.
either playing or traveling.
Yeah.
Baseball, you only
True.
see them if they win the World
Hockey,
Series.
they only play like one game a week.
Yeah, well, I think they're more
It's like football.
down to earth guys than they are. So
All right, Carly Lafredo, do you guys tell the guest ahead of time if something is 86'd, or do you wait until they order it?
Would you fucking tell them ahead of time?
I feel
Why
like you would tell-
frustrate
yeah,
the
like-
shit out
yeah.
of your guests? The last thing you want to do is, you know how hard it is to pick something on a menu? Watch my wife. It takes her like forever to decide on something to eat, and she'll change her mind 17 times before the waitress gets back. If she knew ahead of time,
And she keeps saying, "What are you gonna get?"
well, I might have a bite of yours.
what should I get? Which
Oh my God! So yeah, if you're not as a server telling the guest who's already gonna have a really hard time, may already have a real hard time, Jan, picking out something on the menu, that particular item is out. You know how frustrated they're gonna be when they finally got themselves to make a decision and find out that that's not. It's not.
Yeah.
You just tell them right off the rip.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than being like, ooh, I'm going to try this.
But
And
that
Why
should be
wouldn't
you?
that should be not a very common thing.
Yeah.
If you're 86 and things more than you think, then
That's the first.
There's
thing
a
you say.
problem.
Hi, welcome to so and so. Blah blah
But-
blah.
Right.
Here's the menu. Just give you a heads up. We are out of the short rib today.
Right.
we are out of
how
chicken
many
wings.
times though have you done that? You're
Tap
like,
it.
oh, we don't have this tonight, and then the person's like, oh yeah, I'll have that,
And they order it anyway.
No, I literally just told you I don't have
Well,
that.
that's not your fault. Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's
It just
not-
shows
But you shouldn't
people
86 a lot of things as a restaurant anyway. I mean, maybe one
More so now.
specials,
Let's do-
and specials. I feel like specials.
the Sunday run-outs
specials.
is
I
really
know,
Yeah.
I'm with you on
Specials.
specials. But don't show up on a Friday night and say I'm out of the special.
Do you know what's great is when you're at Jordan's place and you order the special egg roll and the guy next to you orders one and the bartender's like, he got the last order.
Yeah, it happens way too often, too, especially
Super
Thanksgiving
fun.
egg roll season's,
And then you
upon
stare
us.
at them.
Although I think my favorite 86, I don't even know if I'd call this an 86 story. I can't name the place because it is not a good story. They were struggling, and a friend of mine went in and ordered I think it was like a chicken broccoli Alfredo, and they waited for like 40 minutes, and and then the wait staff came back and they're like, we can't find the broccoli.
Yeah.
And so then and they ordered something else, and like another 20 minutes goes by, and the wait staff comes back and they're like, oh, we found the broccoli, and walked away and be like, no, don't eat hide and seek broccoli. Like
Yeah, right.
that is not a good thing. Yeah.
Right. Actually, that happened to my brother the other day. We were playing wiffle ball, and then we went out to a restaurant to grab some takeout and shit to bring home, and we're going our separate ways. And while we were there, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna get a pizza too, and ordered the pizza. We were sitting there, we had a couple drinks, waited for about 40 minutes, and then my takeout came out, and the bartender was like, oh, we didn't have the stuff to make your pizza. Like, she couldn't have told him that. I guess the
Right.
kitchen, it wasn't her fault.
Right.
The kitchen,
Right.
when they were putting the order out, let her know, and they're like, hey, we didn't have the stuff, by the way, we didn't have the stuff to make that pizza. So he just sat there, he's like, I'm not
And
gonna
the
sit here
worst
another
part-
40
yep.
minutes
Minutes
by
for a
myself.
pizza, yeah.
And the worst part of that is if you're in the kitchen and there's 20 tickets up. And
You don't know until
and
you
you
get to that
told
ticket
right,
too.
and you told the waitress, we're out of whatever it is,
Right.
broccoli, and then you get to that ticket and you're like, I told you we're out of broccoli, and then they got to go to the table and like, well, I ordered that 20 minutes ago. Now it's
Right.
going to
Yeah.
be another 20 minutes. I'm going to be backed up.
Perfect. I think
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened. Was the pizzas turn over so quick in that place? So like the ticket was way down the line,
Yep.
and he didn't realize
Sure.
until he got that close to the
But
ticket.
that
he
sort
didn't
of
have
thing shouldn't happen very often.
It shouldn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
One person.
We got Maddie Wilmoth. On a Bloody Mary mimosa bar, what do you all think the expected garnishes are for guests?
A parasol and 2 cherries.
Yeah. Well, how much of the Bloody Marys and mimosas?
That's a very well. The mimosa's easy, just an orange slice. What
well,
else
no,
are
but
gonna
if you
go?
have a table, you could offer anything to put that in a mimosa.
Yep.
So I mean, if it's a $5 mimosa, I'm saying there's no table. But if it's a $15 mimosa, you can put shrimp in it, you can put bacon in it, you can put so it all depends
Bacon
on
in
the
a
price.
mimosa?
Oh yeah. No, I'm sorry, Bloody Mary.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like,
Jesus Christ.
That's why I was saying mimosa's easy. Mimosa's just an orange slice.
Yeah.
Right? Unless
Right.
you're doing like a strawberry mimosa, something stupid.
But yeah,
you could-
like
you could be
a
a strawberry-
Bloody Mary,
mimosa
like
could be any-
sliders. I mean, you can really go
Yeah.
crazy with them.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, you also are probably going to take a little bit of hit of that because if you're doing a Bloody Mary bar, you're doing it during like a brunch or breakfast hour. You're trying to get people in.
Yeah.
I've been at places that have done them before where you're building your own Bloody Mary and
Yep.
get all this. You're understanding that you're not going on hard cost here unless you've got to line out the door every day. anyway.
Right.
Then you charge what
But
you
if
charge.
you do a Bloody Mary bar,
Yeah.
right, and you give people a Bloody Mary and say, go add anything you want at that bar, or however you want to do it,
Yep.
you're always going to have that one person that puts 10 shrimp, 15 pieces of bacon, and it's a $30 drink,
and not order brunch.
and they just paid 10. Right,
Yeah.
they just paid 10. So I guess, how do you manage that to the point without having somebody manage the table? Because now you're going to bring somebody in, and you got to pay them minimum wage at least, because they're not making tips.
Yep.
So how do you monitor that table so that people aren't, it's not, they're not browsing on it,
So-
eating shrimp while they're
so-
going, and
So here's the thing: is how do you make an all-you-can-eat buffet profitable as well? Because I mean, it's the same thing.
no,
So
that's different.
Okay.
That's different. So if you, let's stick with the Bloody Marys for
Yeah.
a second. So if you give somebody a glass of vodka with ice,
Yeah.
and you say, here's your Bloody Mary, go over to the bar, and you can make it any way you want, okay? And it's gonna cost you $15. Just throw a number out, most expensive.
Sure.
15
$15.
And they go over there, and some person will gonna say, well, I don't wanna buy that because I'm just gonna put a piece of bacon in it and spicy Bloody Mary mix. So they're like, it's not worth $15 for me. But then the other person's gonna go out and he's gonna have 10 pieces of shrimp, 5 pieces of bacon, and, all the olives. It's gonna be like a meal. And there's nothing you could do because it's a build your own Bloody Mary.
Right. So does it become like? And now my memory is not going to help me here. I don't remember if it was this episode or the previous episode. I think it might have been the previous episode where Jordan said that you lead off the buffet with the pasta. So do you lead off this and put like the shrimp way down
You
at the
could
other
do that,
end?
but I think the people that are going over there at person, it's one person at a time staring at a whole table.
Yeah.
They're not going down the line.
Yeah.
They're staring at, okay, here's the table, and boy, what would I like in my drink?
Yep.
I'd really like, this shrimp, but I'm going to put it on the side of my plate, and I'll take 5 of them. So
Don't give them a plate.
without having a person there, and I think it's really a good idea.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to manage that good idea so that people do it. Now,
I worked at a place that did it.
if you could charge by the item, then it's not a build your own. It's
Right.
it's
Yeah.
So again, I think it's a good idea.
So what if you do like this is the bar, and then there's like the bacon and shrimp at the end? Be like,
Man.
oh, there's an extra like upcharge for the bacon and shrimp.
You could, but now you've already given that person that charge.
Yeah.
So you're already charging that person for the drink, and they go up and they garnish it themselves. So you've already charged that person for that drink. You can't say, oh, okay, now you've had 4 pieces of bacon and 3, or
Wait a minute here. So they're not pouring their own vodka.
That's
right?
correct.
For the Bloody Mary, right? So what's the difference between going to the bartender saying, I'm going to the Bloody Mary bar, can I get a glass full of ice and vodka, and I'm going to add shrimp, and have the bartender give the shrimp and the bacon, the expensive.
well, then it's not a.
but then you go to
their
you use the
you might as well
Clamato,
just.
the Bloody Bull, the
Right,
this,
but you
the
just-
seasoning, there's all kinds of stuff.
So
you
you're
can
saying
still-
keep
the high priced
the high priced stuff behind the bar and say, I'll take 2
pieces.
pieces of shrimp and a piece of bacon, and then I'll go finish it off
Correct.
over there. You could, but
Yeah.
now the bartender's doing half, and then they're doing half. Why do you have to the bartender do the whole thing?
Yeah, because then they can make the thing about a Bloody Mary is there's so many ingredients in it that it's customizable. So you got horseradish, Worcestershire, celery salt, hot sauce, celery, all the lime, lemon, olives,
Celery.
pickles.
Oh, I thought we just gonna.
So all that stuff can be done because everybody's got their idea
Right.
of what a good Bloody Mary is.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
we did it at a restaurant called Sail Off that I worked at right before Speedwell opened. It's my partner's place, and I love the way
Business partner?
Yes, business partner. Okay.
The okay didn't help you.
He originally put the cocktail shrimp and the bacon on the table and realized that was a very, very bad idea. And he was doing
Correct.
bacon wrapped shrimp,
Yep.
stuff
Oh
like that.
yeah, that should
Yep.
fly. Yeah.
So
Blue cheese, stuffed olives, everything.
Oh yeah, but the blue cheese stuffed olive thing he actually left out because how many knows can you really eat?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
117.
you might get one.
In one bite.
So yeah.
Yeah, so how they do it?
So set up the table, and you can make a table look full with really cheap stuff for a Bloody Mary. You have regular tomato juice.
Right, but how do they?
So
physically
basically,
do it?
You would go to the bartender because
Yep.
you had to get your vodka glass or whatever, and you would go to the bartender and they pour whatever vodka you wanted, Kettle One, Tito's, whatever, and say, the bartender would be trained to ask, are you getting any shrimp or bacon with that? And they'd say, yes, cool. So she'd put it on like a little plate or a little napkin. They'd go build their Bloody Mary, come back, grab their shrimp and their bacon, then go on their merry way.
Now, what if you were sitting at a table?
So
you still have to
the
go.
waitress
Yeah.
still can ask,
Yeah.
and then come back to the table
With the
So it's
shrimp
really a
and the-
modifier that you got to put in
Yeah.
so that the
Correct.
bartender can
You
read it
got
and
it.
say, okay, here it goes.
just like anything.
And if it's a well-trained staff,
So you're saying, so you're
it's
saying
a
it's
big
a
gamble,
$5,
Andy.
it's a $5 Bloody Mary.
Yep.
If you
Comes
want
with-
shrimp, it's $2. If you want bacon, it's $1. If you
Well,
want
the
this,
way-
it's this.
Yeah, the way my boss did it there was he said it was actually a $7 Bloody Mary bar, and he said it comes with 1 shrimp and 1 strip of bacon. If you want more, it's a
It's additional.
surcharge.
Okay. Yeah.
And and you would ask, do you want the shrimp? Do you want the bacon? It didn't cost any less if you didn't get it, but you could guarantee get 1 shrimp, 1 piece of bacon if you did want it. And you just learn, you adapt. You know what I mean?
Well,
Just like
think of it this
anything
way.
else.
Have you ever been to a place where you build your own charcuterie board? They give you a
No.
list.
No.
Sounds awesome.
I know
Go
it
to,
really does.
Uva over here.
Oh, you're not building your own though. You're checking it off. You're
Oh,
just-
yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
else.
Boom.
Now,
That's
we
the same.
tried that for the Bloody Marys.
Yep.
It would, you had 100 different things on. You checked off what you wanted.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, there was 20 Bloody Marys, and it took the bartender an hour to make them because they
True.
were like, oh.
Right.
Yep.
And that was the
But
big
that's
backup.
all they do at Uva
Yeah.
because you're bartending for yourself there.
Yeah.
So Uva Wine Bar is a new business that just opened up in Speedwell. They're one of those self-service wine
They
bars.
opened
Have
up
you
in
seen them?
Speedwell.
Did I say Speedwell?
Yeah, you
Opened up
did.
in Plymouth.
Notice how
I
he
didn't
like
even catch that.
he slides the ad.
I didn't
It's-
catch that.
that's
Laughed right away,
That's
and I'm
Jordan's
like,
subliminal message to advertise his own place.
I can't help myself.
They open up in Speedwell, and
But Uva's
here in
rad.
Speedwell,
Business
the
partners.
Plymouth Rock is located in Speedwell.
You walk into the
Speedwell, Mass.
and they got a wall of wine dispensers, and you just get like a card, and you go up to the wine, and you serve yourself wine. So really, all they have to do is charcuterie boards. So it's different for them. But to Carl's
Correct.
point, it
Correct.
Yeah.
sucks when you're bartending for
Right.
an entire restaurant, and you have an open kitchen, and you have this, and you have that, and on top of that, you're preparing these.
Right. The Bloody Marys that everybody wants different, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
well, all right.
But
by the
the-
time you get to it, it's
And there's also those little things that you can train your staff to do, being like, I want the build your own Bloody Mary, blah
he
blah
thinks
blah.
he can train your staff.
I know.
Yeah.
Typical Andy.
Yeah.
See?
So you can be.
Maybe you shouldn't open that diner.
Yeah, I don't know that time. But you could be, do you want, the house vodka or do you want Grey Goose? Grey
Right.
Goose. And, you put that option out there, and depending on how you phrase the people, are like, oh, I want the more expensive, you get that upcharge on the vodka.
Right, but what I'm saying is when you make it from behind the bar, it's if you give somebody a glass of Grey Goose
Yeah.
and a Bloody Mary with 14 different things in it, it's going to take longer to.
Right. Yeah. Oh, the checkoff thing is done.
No, we already went
Yeah,
through that.
we already went through that.
Yeah.
I was just saying you can upsell them on the vodka.
Thanks.
That was my
Thanks
point,
for that
but-
advice.
Proud of you.
Assholes. I don't even know why I do this. Clara Jennings. Thank you,
was a good
Clara.
name.
I know.
I think the angrier you make him, the better.
Come on, it's Jennings. I can get that one. Creating a new
surprised?
menu. Assholes. I hate you all. Creating a new menu. What is the most popular bar food?
Wings, baby.
Yep.
I
Wings, tenders, French
feel like
fries.
wings. Yeah, I feel like wings, French fries.
Yep.
Nachos, are making a comeback.
Yep.
Are they?
Nachos,
Nachos.
wings, burgers, they're always the top 3.
Yeah.
Pizzas, if you have them, they're always the top 4.
Yep.
Pizzas.
I think the Pillar does a great job with their dogs. you
Hot
know?
dogs.
Hot dogs at the Pillar.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Hot
people
dogs
go
making a
there for a hot dog. I think if you went to, if people came here and I had a hot dog on it, which I do, but like a kid's hot dog, but
Yeah.
if I had a hot dog like they do, I don't think I would sell as many because
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
then you
it's
go
just-
to a place for a hot
you
dog.
go
you know.
to Pillory because you want,
Yes.
oh, I'm in the mood for a hot
Yeah.
dog, man. What
Let's
can
go
I,
to the
oh,
Pillory,
they got
yeah.
15 different dogs on there.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
But I mean, that's the kind of thing that I said about your pretzel and your wings and egg rolls. Like, pick one thing and do it well.
And then build around
and
that.
build around it and allow yourself to like be able to tweak it. And so maybe hot dogs are your thing. Maybe
Right.
stuffed pretzels your thing. Whatever. Just find your thing that you
But
do.
the
well.
most popular things are really the truly most pub.
Yep.
pizza,
menu.
wings,
Yep.
burgers.
Simple yet
yeah.
effective.
The
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't want to think. They want to drink.
Yep.
You know what's not making a comeback and it makes you sad is potato skins.
I know.
Can't find them
Yeah,
anywhere.
right. Oh wow, yeah. I can't remember the last time I've seen potato skins on a menu.
I think they're high in COVID.
Could be.
Okay, that's 3 C's. I'm keeping track. We need a scoreboard.
Tater tots took over for potato skins. I think.
I feel like tater tots. Yeah.
See, now I
it's
think
not the
tater
same.
tots have seen its peak and it's going down a little bit.
Yeah.
If you do, yeah.
I think its peak was a
I
couple
haven't
of
seen
years
that
ago
many
when
of them
they.
lately.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because I really like a big tater tots with all the, different things on it, almost like you get, a gourmet hot dog, all that different.
Yep.
And then I have it and I'm like, ugh, I shouldn't eat that, man.
Well, it's like every
Or
time,
like
A month later, I'm like, let's get that again.
You eat like a quarter of it, and you're like,
Yeah, you're like,
"Ooh."
oh my God,
Yeah.
this is more than I really thought I was
Right.
going to
Yep.
get.
Is there anything that you guys see coming down the pike that's like the new Brussels sprout?
Chips and dip.
Chips and dip,
Chips
right?
and dip.
If
Homemade
we did,
different dips.
we would have it on the menu.
Telling you right now, especially in COVID, right? In Massachusetts, you have to eat something to be able to sit at a bar and drink and eat.
So chips and dip, yeah,
So
makes a lot of
chips and
sense.
dip
Yeah.
is great. You make your own dip. You can customize. There's millions of different
so
kinds of
easy
dips
to put out there too.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be heated up. You can have a bartender serve it. Chips and dip are coming down, and people starting to realize, like, damn,
Yeah,
I
but is it
really
coming-
do like onion dip, man.
Yep.
Like, I really
Right,
do
but
like
is that
buffalo
because they're
chicken
not
dip.
getting a meal? They just have to get something to eat?
No, I think it is originally because they have to get something to eat and they don't want a full meal. But I think once people get it, they realize, like, yo, it's kind of cool chilling at a bar and just eating chips and dip.
I think the spring roll
Deviled
thing
eggs.
too. Is
Yeah.
Yeah, deviled eggs. I love deviled eggs,
Yeah.
but I don't
Deviled
see a
eggs.
lot
Have you ever
of
Yeah, I
seen
don't
them?
think
I've
deviled
never seen deviled eggs.
Go to the
ever.
city. I'm telling you, go to
Really?
some of these hipster bars.
Listen, is some of that works in the city?
Yeah, we don't
I
have hipster
see
bars.
it
We have
deviled
Well,
egg.
go to the
normal
cocktail
bars.
bars, like mixed nuts too. People doing their
I wanna
own
go
like
there.
like mixed nuts, like bar snacks, like traditional bar snacks. I think are making a comeback. I started seeing it.
Yeah,
like,
but you're not going to make money on a bowl of nuts.
Well, we didn't. We were talking about making money. We were just saying
Oh.
it's going to be
Yeah.
popular.
Understood.
And I'm thinking smaller things because people
Right.
don't want a whole meal. They just want to be able to sit at a bar. But if you're getting forced to order a food item, that's when you.
We've
see
come up
stuff
with
like
more and
this.
more just appetizers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Then I mean,
Stuff
I think I
kebab.
got 16, 17, almost 20 appetizers, and I have 3 entrees.
Right.
Because people are coming in.
People
they
want
just
the appetizers.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Egg
Makes
rolls.
sense.
I've been doing the egg roll thing.
I think egg roll. I've seen a lot more now.
Well, yeah, me too.
This one comes from Emma Cole. Changing the subject. How do you guys punish employees for being late, even if it's only 5 minutes? It's every
Spanking.
Speaking of making your servers cry.
It's every shift they work. They're a great employee, but constantly showing up late, trying to find ways to punish without resulting in firing.
I've sent people home. I've given them extra side work. I've made
like
them
that.
sit at work out in the patio when it's freezing cold.
Well, I mean, I think first you could have a conversation with them.
yeah.
But if it's over and over and over, yeah, at some point you just got to
Yep.
get rid of them.
Yeah.
I mean, the end result is this is your shift. You can't make it on time. I'm going to get somebody
Well,
else.
the quickest way to do it is you take that shift away for a week or whatever, or 2 weeks, and
Give
then
them a
if they
shit
don't
shift.
run that way and
Yeah.
it doesn't, then
Yeah.
I say the
there's no
same.
help.
I say the same thing at every staff meeting at Speedwell. Is there's one thing that takes no talent, no training, no nothing. It's just being on time. There's nothing in the world I'm going to teach you that your parents did. Just being on time. I'm giving you. You got to be here at 11 o'clock. If you're not here at 11 o'clock, that things happen. Life happens. There's going to be a moment where you don't
Yep.
get here on time.
Yep.
But if you're repeatedly doing it, it's just you disrespecting and not taking the job seriously. You don't want to be here. You don't think this is a place for you because that's what you're telling me. Then just go somewhere else. I do like the idea of additional side work. If the person's 15 minutes late, now they got to stay an hour late and clean something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just you want to take away from my time.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
take away
Then they
from your
can,
time.
they can always claim retaliation.
Cool.
So,
Retaliate.
so here's the thing, and it boils down to, are they worth them being late? And I'm going to make a vague reference to another industry, but there's a comic book artist who's huge in the 90s. Everyone considers him a hack now, but he works to this very day. And, I've had conversations with people. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, he's a terrible artist. And they go, yeah, but he hits every deadline. You don't have to be the best. But if I know I can count on you, I would rather have someone mediocre that I can count on every single day than someone who's amazing that I have no idea if they're showing up.
Right.
I
Right.
had a former employee that I literally kept him around because I knew he'd be there every day.
Yep.
If I need him to do something extra, he would. So.
Yeah. So you can be
Wasn't the best,
mediocre,
but-
be punctual.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It doesn't take any talent. It just takes effort and respect.
Yep.
Yep.
That's it. And think about that. So when you're trying to analyze this person that's consistently late, think about how that trait is bleeding over into everything else into the place. So if they don't respect you and respect the job enough to become on time, especially after being warned to show up on time, what else aren't they doing?
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's the same attitude is going to.
And it's not that. It's you have one employee that just can't be on time. For whatever reason, they just can't get here on time. And, it's 10 minutes every day, then it's 15, then it's 5, then it's 20, and then But it's not that just one person, it's everybody else seeing that, well, she gets away with it or he gets away with it.
Correct.
And even if
Hey,
they-
listen, I'm running a little late. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going
Yeah.
to take my time because everybody else is late. Why
Great
can't I be
point.
up?
and even if they don't take that attitude, it then becomes a toxic work environment because they're like, oh, it's I'm the only one that's held accountable to be on time.
correct.
So and so can stroll in whenever they want.
Yep.
So
And they all know. Once
Yep.
once you talk to an employee about an issue that you might be having, they all look for that issue in everybody else. So that
Yeah.
everybody knows who punches in late
Yep.
and who doesn't. And
so
Comes a big fat pissing contest.
That's right.
so
That's
have your
right.
rules, stick to them, but be reasonable.
Just- Yep.
Yeah, you got to be a little
Correct.
flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's last call. We're gonna go around the
Last
table.
call.
We're gonna go around the
Quick.
yeah. We're gonna go around the table and this everyone's chance to plug whatever they want. We're gonna start with Carl.
Oh, I knew you were going to start with me.
So I
come
went the
on
other
down.
way. You know.
Yeah, I get it.
The
I'm plugging.
counter-
This
yeah,
is my
all
time,
right.
right?
Yeah, this is your time. Carl, this is your time to talk right now.
Come on down, downtown Plymouth, New World Tavern. Hugely handsome owner.
Huge.
Hugely handsome owner.
Big league.
Live music, good food, good people. That's all I got. Come on down.
All right. Dan.
Come on down to Plymouth, Mass, where Jordan and Karl will be dressing as turkeys and having their own parade this year.
Oh, please make that true.
Oh my
Unfortunately,
God, I'm so going to be the
please.
male turkey.
Please make that true.
Andy will be chasing them as a pilgrim. and,
I'll do that. If they dress as turkeys, I will dress as a pilgrim and chase them.
We may not have a
For
Snoopy
sure.
float, but for sure we dressed as Snoopy. So definitely come check it out. I think the parade would be on the 27th this year. I don't know that. I just made up a day of November.
Sure.
So yeah, come see Kyle and Jordan dressed as turkeys, and it will be a pilgrim, and Fish will be Snoopy the float.
I've got nothing. Jesus Christ.
I went serious last
I
time,
had
so I
something
figured.
earlier. I know. I think I'm gonna have to go say I don't have anything funny. High Limb Cider just opened up in Plymouth, Mass. We have our first cidery.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
We're hoping to get him on soon. So Jeremy, if you're listening to this and we haven't reached out to you yet, reach out to us. But great guys over there. They make a really good product. They've been trying to open for a few years now. I've had some setbacks, but they're finally there. They are located over near Colony Place in Plymouth, Mass. If you know where that is, you know where it is. If you don't, Google it. But yes, High Limb Cider, awesome stuff. Small batch, local. Got them on draft at Speedwell right now. Go check them out.
Oh, is that Speedwell? It's Speedwell, Plymouth.
Speedwell, Plymouth.
Mass. Speedwell.
Yep.
Speedwell.
Speedwell,
Speedwell.
Massachusetts.
Speedwell. Speedwell.
Speedwell, USA.
He's got.
What are we here for?
He's got Speedwell Tourette's.
Carl plug New World Tavern. What the fuck?
So I'm going to use this chance to give a big congratulations to friend of the show, Natalie Lester. She's one of our oldest and dearest favorite bartender friends. Her and her husband Colin are expecting.
Nice.
Just officially announced it. Should be, I think, April. Maybe that sounds about right.
All good people are born in April.
The best people are born in January. So, but we're not going to hold that against them. So just congratulations to them. They're literally my favorite couple. And so proud of you guys. And thank you. Thank you guys for listening. You can find us on all social medias at Bar Talk Cast. You can email your questions, complaints. If we've ever given you good advice, please let us know.
Okay, today.
I sort of.
We actually restrained ourselves.
Yeah.
We answered way more questions than we usually do.
Yeah.
But you can email us at bartalkcast@gmail.com. Hit us up. Let us know what's going on. If you are a restaurateur, wait staff, bartender, bar back, bouncer, and you want to be on... Cook, sorry. And you want to be on the show.
Watch it.
Sure. And you want to be on the show, hit us up. We're always looking for people. We're working on our guest list and topics. So send us suggestions, bartalkcast@gmail.com, and we will see you guys next time.
Later.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. You can find us on all social medias at Inebriart or on Instagram at Inebriart6. You can email us at inebriart@yahoo.com. And make sure you listen to the other podcasts on the Inebriart Podcast Network, including Bar Talk, Old Colony Cast, Retro Redoctopus, America's Hometown Horror Podcast, and our newest one, Theme Park Legends, a podcast about working at theme parks. What else? And we'll catch you again next time.